Kommen her der und der Rot wunderbar. Fruchtenere and welcome to the Olaf Omen farm in Kensington, Minnesota. Alright, sorry if my Norwegian is a little rusty. Actually, I think that might be some Swedish. I don't know, I don't speak either. What I do know is that today I'm at the Runestone County Park just outside of Kensington. This was the Olaf Omen farm site. Again, it's now a county park. Olaf Omen was a farmer who had immigrated from Norway here to central Minnesota. This is actually the family farm. They lived here and worked here and were harassed by people who doubted their claim. Just down the road here is the discovery site. You can actually go and find where and see where Omen and his son actually found what is today known as the Kensington Runestone. So right next to the spot where the stone was actually found is an informational plaque, including the description of Olaf Omen discovering the stone. The stone lay embedded between the roots of the tree with the runes downward, the runes on the side being turned toward the tree. I cut the outside root at the spot indicated, and then the main root whereupon the tree fell, exposing the stone. I observed that the stone was flat, and I simply put my grub axe under it and turned it over so that the runes came into sight. My son Edward was the first to notice the inscription. So that's Olaf Omen's description of how they actually came across finding the runestone. If the inscription in the runestone is authentic, it would prove that Scandinavian explorers had traveled to what is now Minnesota in the year 1362, 130 years before Christopher Columbus landed in the New World. So this is what the runestone looked like when they found it. This, of course, is just a replica. If you want to see the real thing, the real deal, in Alexandria, Minnesota, just about a half-hour's drive from here, just off of Interstate 94, in Alexandria is the Runestone Museum. The actual stone is there on display. You can't miss the museum. It's right across the street from the big Ole statue. Inside the museum, you'll see the actual stone. There's displays on why they believe that it is authentic. There's also other artifacts, axe heads and other iron tools that were found here in Minnesota that are identical to what you would have found in Scandinavia in the 1300s, 1400s, the time frame when this stone says that they left it here. It's a typical county museum. There's other exhibits on pioneer life, Native Americans, as well as, and this is the cool part, most other county museums, none that I know of, there's a Viking ship. It's a 3/4 scale replica of a Viking trading ship. They would have sailed around the Baltic Sea in and around Scandinavia back in the Middle Ages. Really cool. And if you like Viking ships, the best one that I know of in Minnesota is in Moorehead, Minnesota. Sure, there are runestone deniers out there that do not believe Scandinavians came to central North America during the 1300s, but there can be no doubt that during the early 1980s, Minnesotans traveled to Norway in the ship behind me, the Hjemkomst. Hjemkomst means homecoming. It was built by a gentleman by the name of Robert Asp, a Moorehead native. They constructed the ship in Hawley, Minnesota, found an old warehouse, and they built it there, hauled it to Duluth, Minnesota by truck, where they tested it out in the waters of Lake Superior. Robert Asp unfortunately contracted leukemia and passed away before they had a chance to complete the dream and sail the ship to Norway. His children and other crew members then ultimately did do just that, and in 1982 they sailed the ship through the Great Lakes to the Erie Canal, down the Hudson River to New York City, and then across the Atlantic Ocean to Bergen, Norway. And they did a tour along the Norwegian coast. They met with the King of Norway and had huge celebrations. The ship is now back here in Moorehead, where Robert Asp was from. Very cool. It's right across the Red River from Fargo, North Dakota. So that's it for today from the Hjemkomst Center here in Moorehead, Minnesota. We did oodles of stuff today. Oodles, that's Norwegian for lots. Rodney's got to get home, go to work. I have to go home and take a nap. So till next time, Huskavarna. I don't know Norwegian.